Hello, it's Jay with the final check-in of Impossible Stars, Embers of War, Book 3 by Gareth L. Powell. This is the final book, and this is my final check-in with this, so this is me blurting out about the ending. So if for some reason you've come upon this and you don't want to hear about the ending of this Dumb as a Hammer series, you were now prepared. Um, so the dumbass Onasudak and the dumbass Marble Fleet that I've been calling a dumbass throughout books 2 and 3, where they've been complete dumbasses, for the conclusion get called dumbasses and are defeated. The end. It's like, it doesn't make it less dumb that you point out that they're dumb. It just makes it more frustrating that you have such a dumb villain for your piece. Dumb, dumb, dumb. And Sal Constance doesn't really get, and Trouble Dog don't really get to do much for their finale. We get this new character, Cordelia Pa, who comes in as the Deus Ex Machina. I think you can call it a Deus Ex Machina, that she suddenly comes in book 3. We find out that she's been engineered by the makers of the Marble Armada and other stuff. She's been constructed by the tech that they left behind to guard the gate, to basically be able to take out the people. It turns out that all this Marble Armada also have Droog in them, little mechanics who've been separated from the mother world, the mother tree, for 5,000 years or whatever, 5 million years or whatever, and so they're able to talk to them, and they just disable the fleet when Onasudak continues to be right up until the very end. Onasudak. It's like, oh well, we're gonna, if we've vanquished, I am now gonna become the supreme leader and just keep everybody clamped down. It's like, oh my god, it's such a bad, horrible villain. And I don't mean as in you love to hate. I mean just, you are so lame. You are so fucking lame as a villain. It's annoying. And they did dodge they subverted expectation in that they heavily telegraphed that Sal was totally into this, what turns out to be a trans man. But the trans man actually says, like, well, no, I want to go build another navy, build another army to blow shit stuff up, I guess, because it's still a military kind of book at its heart. And I got to go see my family and all that. So like, oh, that's sad. So they decided to go through the wormhole. I guess it's a wormhole themselves, and to explore. And it's like, Sophia, um, Sal's great grandmother, says like, oh, I could tell you about it. It's like, no, well, we want to discover. And there's a complete coda of like, oh, and they lived happily ever after, and they had many great adventures. And yes, Sal did finally find a woman that came on the ship, and they lived a happy, interesting life through the things. It's just like, and this last point is narrated by the Trouble Dog, or the troublesome hound, as Nod calls her. Okay, so yeah, that is the end of the series. I didn't particularly find it that satisfying. It just sort of like, it's like they dawdled, and then yeah, the last, as I feared, in the last third, they had a key to get through. The plates can do all sorts of stuff. They can spear the evil animals. The evil animals are just the Scours are just kind of evil animals, so they're not like a villain. They're just like a force of nature sort of thing, which maybe would look cool on the screen, but as a book in a book, it's just like, oh, and then they came, evil, evil, evil. And Michael kind of comes back and gets hooked into the thing in a physical way. I yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is not a great advertisement for the idea of when you get a series, just get the whole series. I mean, I guess it held together enough. There was something in it that held it together enough that I did listen to all three. Because I think if the first one was just horrible, I just would have stopped. Though I did really have an idea that it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do all three. And like the first one was fine. I thought it was a little bit silly. It definitely has a lot of pulp stuff in it, which is what probably pulled me through. There's a lot of very pulpy things, including when the intelligence kind of looks down upon Michael and pronounces, "You have seen the great kind of expired things of this thing, and instead of treating it as a holy shrine, you scavenge it and turn it into your ridiculous cargo cult." And it's kind of just so overblown and over the top that it's just like, that's the kind of silly, dumbass stuff that I kind of do like. Um, but it really wants to be taken seriously. It uses so much poetry, quotes from actual poets, Whitman and Blake, and it's just it's groany in how it's trying to bootstrap itself off of that stuff, and it's got nothing on this stuff. Um, yeah, yeah. So I will do a review of the final book, and then I will try and take a little distance and do a series-wide review for what it's worth. All right. I will leave it there. I've been Jay. More videos later.